upper room discourse in the Gospel of John. The Gospel of John, if you'll notice, first 11 chapters deal with the 3 years of Christ's earthly ministry. And then chapter 12 on deal with, chapter after chapter deals with the death, burial, and resurrection of Christ. So basically half of the Gospel of John is devoted to just that time of Christ's, those 3 days. And a great deal of time is devoted to the night of Jesus's arrest and trial. And so we have a number of chapters, as I said, chapter 14, 15, 16, where he teaches them, and this is known as the upper room discourse. And then you have chapter 17 where he does the priestly prayer. And so John really zeroes in his gospel on this aspect of the life and ministry of Christ, and that aspect of him teaching us about the person of the Holy Spirit. So what Christ lets us know is that the Holy Spirit is coming at that time. He has arrived for you and me, but at the time he's saying this, he's coming. He will be another comforter. This has the idea of paraclete. He will be another teacher. This is the idea of a pedagogue. And also Jesus wants us to know that the Holy Spirit is a person. This is something that Jesus will emphasize to us. Now, I will talk more about the personhood of the Holy Spirit in the next section when we deal with the coming of the Holy Spirit and we talk about the Holy Spirit, his relationship within the Trinity. We'll talk about that later. But for now, let's note what Jesus has to say in passages such as chapter 15 and chapter 16, in which Jesus emphasizes the personhood of the Holy Spirit. And Jesus wants us to know that the Holy Spirit is a person even as Christ is a person. And the way that Jesus does this is very interesting in that Jesus deliberately breaks some grammatical rules. Now, does this mean that Jesus used bad grammar? Not in the sense that he didn't know what good grammar is. This is an example of someone who deliberately violates a rule in order to make a point. And that's what he does. Pneuma, the word for spirit, the Holy Spirit, the word pneuma, is neuter. And it should have a neuter pronoun to accompany it. In the Koine Greek, or in Greek language, words have either a masculine, feminine, or neuter attribute. And they would have, that would have the proper type of ending showing whether it's a masculine, feminine, or neuter. And the pronoun that accompanies the noun is supposed to correspond. In other words, if a feminine noun is used, then feminine pronouns are supposed to relate to that noun. Jesus deliberately doesn't do that. What he does is, in reference to pneuma, Jesus deliberately uses the masculine pronoun, which is grammatically incorrect. But Jesus is breaking the grammatical rule in order to make a theological point. And that's what he's doing here. So, like I said, pneuma is a neuter gender word, and it should call for a neuter pronoun. But what he does, the grammatical rule is deliberately contradicted with a masculine pronoun. And so notice how Jesus says this. He says, the Spirit of truth, he will testify about me. Or again, in chapter 16, when he says, but when he, the Spirit of truth, comes, he will guide you into all truth. He will not speak on his own. He will speak only what he hears, and he will tell you what is yet to come. He will bring glory to me. Then again, in verses 6 and 7, I will send him to you, and when he comes, he will convict the world. Now notice, this isn't just something that was, whenever I'm doing these lectures like this, it's a rare 10-minute video that I don't have some kind of grammatical error or I misspeak in one way or another. That's just because I just don't do this very well. But even a professional speaker speaking extemporaneously for 15-20 minutes may say something that is grammatically incorrect and just have a misstep. That's not what Jesus does here. Notice how many places there where Jesus deliberately violates the norm. So he's making a point in which 10, 12 times he, Jesus, deliberately refers to the Holy Spirit in the masculine. And so he's making the point that the Holy Spirit is a person. Now, remember what I said earlier in the previous sessions, that the work of the Spirit is paralleling that of Christ. He is continuing that which the Holy Spirit does, or excuse me, what Christ does. There you go. There's an example of misspeaking. He comes to replace Christ, to carry on Christ's work, to maintain the Lord's presence with the believer. And so this lets us know we are talking about something that is very personal. Only a person could do the kind of works that Jesus says that the Holy Spirit is going to do on our behalf. And so, this is why we understand the Holy Spirit to not merely be a force, to not merely be an energy, not merely a field of God's presence, but so much more, that we refer to the Holy Spirit as a He because Jesus refers to Him as a He, and we understand the Holy Spirit to be a person because Jesus Himself teaches us that the Holy Spirit is a person.